I think that this few month stretch in America is going to be something that has repercussions, not just economically and physically and healthcare wise. I think it's going to be a huge artistic shift for us. It'll be something that artists will be touching on for years. It'll be like the Cuban Missile Crisis or D-Day.
Yeah.
If you were to make a movie about this era, what type of movie would it be?
A relationship is tested by having to be in the same house all the time.
Oh, perfect. Limited set, limited cast, small budget.
Yeah.
I'm going big for mine. Heist movie.
Oh, nice.
Everyone wears masks. People grow facial hair that they've never had before. But also at the same time, it's a heist movie where no one wants to be too close to each other.
A Van Gogh painting was just stolen from the museum in Amsterdam.
And they stole my idea, too.
I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode, I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good. It might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to The Basement. There is a filmmaker that we've talked about quite a bit on this show, but we've never watched one of his films. He's offbeat, he's audacious, he's staring over your shoulder right now. It's John Waters.
Total coincidence. I had no idea when I chose to put this postcard up today.
To tell the truth, I haven't watched many of his movies. I think I saw most of Serial Mom.
You've never seen Hairspray?
I've never seen Hairspray.
Excellent, Hairspray. I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid.
Released in 1988, Hairspray stars Sonny Bono, Ruth Brown, Ricky Lake, Basement alum Debbie Harry, Jerry Stiller, Rick Ocasek, Pia Zadora, Mink Stoll, and Divine.
There he is, right there.
It is described as a satirical dance melodrama, and the only film in the John Waters canon to receive a PG rating. In 2002, Hairspray was adapted into a Broadway musical, which went on to win 8 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. A film of the musical came out in 2007 with John Travolta playing the Divine role.
I haven't seen it. I hear it's good, though.
This was Divine's final role. Sadly, he passed away just 3 weeks after the film's premiere.
We're having an accidental theme to the month of April, it seems.
Yeah, it's kind of Queer Cinema Month. For your gift, I know that John Waters would want me to give you something kinky. And so we have these.
Look at that. Kinky. Like a police officer.
So tease up that big bouffant of yours and do the shimmy shake on over to the old leather couch where we'll be watching Hairspray.
What you doing over there?
What you doing?
I'm spraying my hair. Let me tell you about the latest craze. I bought that magic potion in a 12-ounce can. I know, but when I make the scene,
I'm going to ruin the ozone layer.
oh mama told me not to use it.
Baltimore, 1963.
They're checking their outfits, they're working on their dance moves, and they're using a whole lot of hairspray.
Tracy and Penny are running home from school because they need to catch the Corny Collins dance show. They turn on the television and they shake their things to the rock and roll music.
Could you turn that racket down? I'm trying to iron in here.
Good afternoon, Baltimore. Welcome to the Corny Collins Show.
Born J. Cornworth Collins.
Hey, we've got our first telegram of the day. What do you want to hear, Amber?
Shake a tail feather by the 5 Dewtones.
Bend over, let me see you shake a tail feather. Bend over, let me see you shake a tail feather.
You should be on that council, not her.
The Tail Feather Council? Tracy's mom, Edna Turnblad, does not approve of her daughter listening to such trash.
Tracy, I have told you about that hair, all ratted up like a teenage Jezebel.
I've never seen a rat with that hairstyle.
Tracy, I want you to go to your room and study.
Tracy, I also need you to walk the dog. Last time I did it, it did not go well.
Also, Penny's mother, Prudence, stops by.
She's a rather high-strung sort, and she tells Penny that Penny is punished. The big star of the Corny Collins show is Amber Von Tussle. She's the head of the dance council.
Leave me alone, Mother. I have a pimple. And you had to choose a colored record as your favorite song, didn't you?
You could have chosen Eat to the Beat.
We have to have a little talk.
Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Von Tussle, are Amber's biggest fans, and also her harshest critics, particularly Mom.
And so she pushes her too hard.
Mashed potatoes?
Faster!
It's dinner at the Turnblad house.
Pass the macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese, that brand new dance. That night, there's a Corny Collins record hop. Unfortunately, the record hop is segregated, and some of the young black folks can't get in.
That's not fair.
Open your purse, please.
We need to check your purse for black men.
Inside, they're dancing the Madison.
Tracy muscles away up to the front of the Madison, and she fits in just fine.
Hold it right there.
Motormouth Maybelle takes the stage.
She hosts Negro Day on the Corny Collins Show the last Thursday of every month. A warm welcome for the Queen of Baltimore Soul, Miss Motormouth Maybelle herself, ladies and gentlemen.
She's gonna judge the dance contest.
Tedley Papa, I am a whopper.
I had to come in the back entrance.
Dancing is my game.
If dancing is her game, they should call her Motor Feet. This is a little known fact that in the 80s, Chubby Checker changed his name to Diabetic Checker.
Listen, we're holding auditions for the council tomorrow. You ought to come down and strut your stuff.
Gene Pitney sings a little something about a town without pity.
What a town without pity can do.
Sadly, after Gene Pitney died, it became a town without Pitney. Tracy is auditioning for the dance council.
I'm just a little nervous.
If you think you're nervous now, wait till you're on the air.
Ha!
Would you do a pimple cream commercial on camera if Corny asked you to?
I'd be proud to.
Would you do a tacky daytime talk show? She's got a great personality and she's brimming with confidence and everybody likes her, except Amber,
Aren't you a little fat for the show?
That's enough, Amber.
and gets kicked out by Corny Collins.
Turn on the TV. There's something you have to see.
Tracy gets on the show.
Your daughter is a star.
The Duke of Earl actually abdicated his title to marry a commoner.
I think she looks pretty, Edna.
They can't all be winners. Her parents are thrilled. They're starting to get phone calls from neighbors.
Please have the new girl lead a lady's choice.
I was supposed to lead the ladies' choice.
She picks a song and she also gets to pick the man she gets to dance with.
She chooses Link. Amber, watching from home, is mortified. Tracy is now famous and gets mobbed for autographs. Her mother Edna takes her shopping at the Hefty Hideaway. Hefty Hideaway, our specialty, the drawstring dress.
Hi, I'm Mr. Pinky.
Why do I have to be Mr. Pinky? Why can't I be something cool? I can be Mr. Purpley.
Back at school, Tracy's having some trouble. Her hair is too big, and so people can't see around her to look at the blackboard.
I can't help it if he's short.
Short people got no reason to learn. She's sent to the principal's office.
Didn't 2 weeks in hairdo detention have any effect?
It's inconceivable. The principal punishes Tracy by sending her to the special ed class, where hair offenders go. Meanwhile, Amber is spreading rumors.
Tracy Turnblad is a whore.
The special ed class is a weird, wild place, but they like dancing too.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Hand jiving to the flag is treason.
Tracy's class gets to play dodgeball with the popular kids.
All right, ladies, let's go. Let's play dodgeball.
There they meet Seaweed, who is the son of Motormouth Maybelle, and Penny takes a liking to him right away.
Tracy gets hit by a dodgeball and Link comes to her aid. Could this be love?
Tracy, you keep this up and you just may be crowned Miss Auto Show 1963.
It's that girl that was on 2 episodes of that show. Boy, sitting in the front of the bus sure was keen. Link and Penny and Tracy go to the black part of town.
Penny's mom is in hot pursuit.
And they go to this record store that Motormouth Maybelle is at, and everybody's dancing. So many funky chickens! Sorry, Caucasian Night is at the end of the month. They learn some new dances. She goes to that record store. Get away from them, you blacks.
Run for your life!
Truly, white folks be trippin'. You heard it here first. It's preteen day at the Corny Collins Show. Lots of little kids bopping around. I thought he was playing Tomorrow Never Knows. That is also segregated. So this nice little black girl can't go in and dance. The Courtney Collins show should be integrated. It's Corny Collins, isn't it? That's like Courtney Collins. They start a demonstration outside of the studio with chanting. The cops are called.
The station manager vows,
Baltimore is not ready for integrated dancing.
In the black part of town, they're dancing it up and they're shaking their asses. Motormouth Maybelle decides that she's going to organize a demonstration to happen at the Tilted Acres amusement park, which is also segregated.
I want to introduce you to my main man.
he talks pretty slow for someone named Motormouth.
I would call her Measured Mouth Maybelle. During a slow dance, everyone gets kind of hot and heavy.
They want to go make out outside in an alley with a rat. See, not ratted up. That hair, not ratted up.
I wish I was dark-skinned.
Our souls are black.
Mmm.
Our skin is white.
Oh, seaweed, you taste so umami. Tracy's mom shows up. Oh no. Let's get out of here. We'll go into this house.
Like, hi, cats.
There's 2 beatniks here.
Gentrification has begun.
Let's do some reefer.
They love reefer.
Reefer?
Reefer?
Let's get naked and smoke.
Reefer.
Well, we better get out of here. There's too much potential for reefer.
Reefer?
Outside, the cops show up. Penny's parents are there, and they have a psychiatrist who might have a familiar pencil-thin mustache that you might know.
Think
of all the white boys in school and how much you'd like to date one.
She's hauled off for re-education. Gonna pray the black away. No. At Tilted Acres, they're doing their thing.
Segregation forever!
One black face gets on camera, this show's off the air.
Can't you see this is ripping the city apart?
Corny Collins is dressed corny casual.
The Corny Collins show remains white.
Oh, you're all fired!
Well, it's come down to Amber and Tracy as queen of the whatever. They each get to be featured in a special dance. Amber chooses the limbo.
That doesn't go well for Tracy.
Wilbur, it's the times. They're a-changing. Something's blowing in the wind.
It's all right, Edna. I'm only bleeding.
There's a protest going on outside between the integrationists and the segregationalists.
Only your music is wanted here. Someone outside lights off some firecrackers and starts a race riot. Wait a minute. Is that guy also divine?
Yes. Link gets his kneecaps broken, and Tracy gets arrested and sent to reform school.
Tracy!
It's too bad her name isn't Patty, because then they could be Link and Patty.
From his hospital bed.
I love you, Tracy.
Tracy Turnblad is a human roach nest.
Tracy sees all this from reform school, where she's having her hair ironed. She's gonna flatten out that stack.
Aren't you glad that you were punished and under psychiatric care?
I wish I was at a hootenanny in Harlem.
A Harlem nanny. It's time for the 1963 auto show, where the queen of the auto show is going to be decided. That's why they were dancing at Tilted Acres. And there's a demonstration outside of that. Free Tracy. Mr. Von Tussle is building a bomb. Another time bomb? Sonny Bono? Wasn't Airplane 2 enough?
They really think that Tracy shouldn't win, so they're prepared to go to any lengths, including terrorism, to make certain that that happens.
Integration now!
The shot of the 2 nuns kissing, maybe the most John Waters shot in a John Waters film. Or this one with a time bomb being put into an enormous hairdo.
The governor of Maryland finds out that there's racial unrest. Keep it quiet. We don't want this to be national news.
Technically, the winner is Miss Tracy Turnblad.
I don't like that technically.
But she's disqualified because she's into Hoosgow.
The winner of the Miss Auto Show 1963, Amber Von Tussle.
Gross.
And the governor ends up getting kidnapped by Motormouth Mabel and her daughter. Hey, Matt, it's your gift.
Nice! Amber, smug in her triumph, debuts another new dance.
It's called the Roach.
Because she's always spreading rumors that Tracy's got roaches crawling around on her body.
Pardon, Tracy Turnblad.
Tracy rushes out of reform school. She dances right on over to the auto show.
I really hope this ends with a pie fight. And she puts on her new dress that's covered with applique roaches. That's right, Tracy, own it. She's the true queen.
I
I feel like dancing.
Finally dancing.
I've got the bug. Come on, baby, let's do the bug.
Insect-themed auto show. Do the bomb. Do the time bomb, baby, do the bomb. That's the end of Hairspray.
Dance away, people!
What's really charming about this movie is the affection and sincerity that Waters shows towards this era and towards these people. You could say that this movie is a love letter to integration, a love letter to rock and roll and dancing, but really it's a love letter to teens. The only bad teen in the whole movie is Amber. All of the real villains are adults. I like the fact that Tracy is not a complete loser who's just kind of shit on the whole movie. You sort of expect that a little bit. And I'm also glad that her mother isn't a total hag.
Not in the least. How Divine plays Mrs. Turnblad is so loving. She starts out as like, oh, Tracy, don't do that. But she's just acting like a mom.
Very similar to Louis Anderson's performance on the show Baskets. It's so much fun to watch because it's so outrageous and over the top, and yet it lacks any kind of cynicism or irony. It's a very pure experience.
And even though what they're saying, that segregation is bad, that we should be nice to all people, it plays it so innocently, it doesn't seem as corny as it might have been.
Or as corny as the Corny Collins Show.
Pretty cool guy, Corny Collins.
This film is really progressive, even for 1988, just in its treatment of interracial couples and things like that.
It's startling that there weren't more interracial couples in movies in the mid-'80s.
Well, here's a fun fact. In this movie, Rick Ocasek plays a beatnik painter. Rick Ocasek also plays a beatnik painter in the Woody Allen film Take the Money and Run.
Oh, really? Back when this movie was played constantly on the movie channel or whatever I watched it on, the sequence when the two young couples are on the run that night were hands down one of my favorite scenes in movies at the time. Just the rat on the foot during the romantic moment. Watching it now as an adult, it doesn't have the same romanticism as it did back when I was a kid, because I think so much of this movie is about mild teen. You want me to pause for a minute while the cat gets off your lap?
No, it's fine. I'm listening.
The fantasy of benign teenage rebellion is so wonderful in this movie. They're not doing anything wrong, but they're still being bad, and their parents are still chasing them through the bad parts of town, and it just all seems so exotic and exciting to me.
Yeah, and that goes into the whole the adults are the villains thing. Edna Turnblad, she's a loving mother, but at times she's still an adversary to Tracy. A barrier to something that Tracy wants or desires.
One of the things that John Waters does really, really well is how he uses tropes of melodrama to heighten the comedy. Also, that use of melodrama would turn on young teenagers because as a teenager, me particularly, your life is entirely set to melodrama.
Did you go to a lot of dances when you were a teen?
Yeah.
Any memorable occurrences?
I won a twist contest when I was like in 7th or 8th grade. I won a wallet. How did you like Divine in the movie?
I thought that he was great. Understated as Edna Turnblad and then over the top as the other guy.
After the first 5 minutes of the movie, you're not thinking, that's a man in a muumuu. You're thinking, that's Mrs. Turnblad.
Also, Ricki Lake was really good in this.
Oh, she's so good.
Her character is so charming and so enthusiastic, and it's not annoying at all.
There's one bit player in this movie who did go on to a certain amount of stardom, and that is Josh Charles. One of the things that this movie isn't remembered for enough is the fact that it does have such a tremendous soundtrack.
There's obscurities, and there's also well-known iconic songs. Well, that was Hairspray, and now it's time for us to go and have a boppin' good time over at Seen It. The theme for today is streaming, movies and programs that you can only see online, which is probably something a lot of you are doing right now.
Kristen Erica Wecker writes, Rolling Thunder Review. Seems like something to see. It is, and we've seen it.
Seen it.
Rolling Thunder Review is a documentary about a tour that Bob Dylan did in the mid-1970s. That was this crazy ragtag operation where he invited all of these performers and then they would perform at like VFW halls.
Now, there's something very notable about the film The Rolling Thunder Review, and I'm not sure I want to say what it is, because I went into it not knowing the notable thing.
I think it should be touched on a little bit because it's a documentary, and we should be able to trust our documentaries.
Well, this one you can't really trust because some of the characters are not real.
And some of the real characters weren't really there.
Maybe we can just leave it at that.
One of my favorite songs in the world is Coyote by Joni Mitchell, and you get to see her writing it and workshopping it.
Oh, yeah.
With Dylan and Roger McGuinn. And they're just like playing it in an empty room at Gordon Lightfoot's house. This is the most 70s moment ever put on film.
And there's also modern interview footage of Dylan, which is still weird. It's like watching an interview of Bigfoot. Captain Spaulding writes, Deadwood, loved it. Too bad HBO chose to cancel it. But they did one last movie 15 years later. Seen it.
Seen it.
They reunited the cast. David Milch wrote the script. We're back in Deadwood. You think to yourself, that's an A- right there.
Mm-hmm.
But the movie, it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, but it just ain't a duck.
I think what throws us all off is that it's called a movie. It was just a reunion episode.
It was more of a reunion than an essential extension of the story. And it also seems like the acceptance of an apology. We're sorry we canceled Deadwood. Here's a movie for you to do.
The fact that they use the word movie, you realize that in this era where television has become extremely cinematic, that once you call it a movie, you realize, no, it's just TV.
Did you notice the Garrett Dillahunt cameo?
No, I did not.
He was in one of the crowd shots. He was just there briefly. He's like, ah! Now, there's another movie that was based on a canceled series that I think accomplished what Deadwood did not. Lonely Wolf writes, I would really like to hear your thoughts on El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. Seen it?
Not seen it.
While maybe not a necessary extension of the story, it's a worthy extension of the story. Because we get to see how Jesse Pinkman wraps up his life. And more importantly, we get to like Jesse Pinkman. I never liked him throughout the entire Breaking Bad series. He's a difficult character. But there is a weird thing about El Camino, is that it feels like it's in 4 equal segments. It feels like 4 episodes of a show that have been cut together as a movie. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just very noticeable.
Is it like 4 different stories?
No, it's 4 different legs of a story. And they feel sort of compartmentalized from each other.
Caldoon1 writes, Hey Matt, have you seen the HBO Watchmen series yet? You've said in the past you could talk about Watchmen for an hour, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Well, I've seen it.
I enjoyed the series quite a bit. I thought Regina King was a great lead. She's obviously a great actress, but she's also a really good action hero. I like the fact that they brought back some of the characters from the original story as their older selves, but they also replaced deceased characters with these sort of analogous characters, like Looking Glass is a Rorschach character. Red Scare and Pirate Jenny are sort of like 2 versions of the comedian.
Everything excited me throughout the entire show, particularly in comparison to the Watchmen movie that came out whenever ago. This was so much more satisfying.
There is a place where all are welcome, and that is our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. You can see all of our episodes that have ever been made, and there's also PayPal donation buttons where you can click and donate a small amount to support our show. We would very much appreciate it. One of our donors is Vishal, who says, you guys are the best. Happy birthday, Matt. Thanks a lot, man. To find out who the rest of our donors are and to see the contents of our mail crate, you can watch Unboxing, which comes out this coming Friday.
I'll be there. Will you?
Thanks for watching Hairspray with us, and now, watch this. Not that. This.
I love you, Tracy.